currently belongs to 3 clubs: Tulsa Medical, Toastmasters, the Breakfast Club, and the TM35 Leadership Club, and is an officer in all 3 clubs. Ed was recently promoted to financial consultant at Thelen. Considering that this is the TM35 Leadership Club, Ed thought it might be a good presentation to give a presentation from the Toastmasters Leadership Excellence Series. Toastmasters International Leadership Excellence Series is a set of presentations addressing the subject of leadership. Members will learn about the skills they will need to be successful leaders inside and outside of Toastmasters. Ed will be given a presentation on building a team. This presentation discusses how to select and work with a team. This is Ed's last presentation needed for an Advanced Leader Prize award that he can complete once he finishes another Competent Communicator Award. And look, he's here. And 2 speeches away?
Yeah, I'm only 2 speeches away from that. So.
2 speeches away and giving 1 speech on Wednesday. Please welcome Ed Thelen. He's requesting time of 15 to 20 minutes, green at 15, yellow at 17, 30 seconds, and red at 20.
Ed, I think Peggy's doing your time.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, especially our honored Toastmaster guest this morning. I thought building a team might be a good topic for this group, considering we're trying to build a team of Toastmasters that are dedicated to improving their leadership skills in the TM35 Leadership Club. Essentially, with the changes at work have included building a month-end close team for our segment. And I know Peggy and Holly probably learned quite a bit about building a team, being the co-chairs for the fall conference a couple of years ago. A team is a group of people who work together to accomplish specific common goals. They share responsibility for tasks and depend on others to achieve them. And a team is the most effective means of achieving an organization's mission and goals. I'll start out by talking about what are the benefits of building a team. There are some corporate benefits, which include the variety of knowledge and skills to accomplish the organization's goals, which result in more creativity and greater productivity. I think we see this not only within our corporate world, I think we especially see this in Toastmasters. I know I always like having new Toastmasters come in, and part of the reason why I'm still part of the Toastmasters team, if you want to call that, after 17 years, is because new people keep coming in, bringing their fresh ideas and creativity, and therefore that's always keeping Toastmasters fresh, and we're learning better ways to bring more people into Toastmasters and become better Toastmasters. When I started in 1999, even looking at reports that we do to make sure we're becoming a distinguished district weren't available and a popular tool. So there's just so much. So we've come so far in the time that I've been in Toastmasters, and I know Toastmasters continue to use technological and other tools to help us become more relevant, and I'm sure that will be greater emphasized once the new educational program comes around. There are also benefits in building a team as a leader. Building a team allows you to have more time to devote to leadership issues and the organization's mission. and to spend less time on the day-to-day activities. I think this all comes down to proper delegation. I know my supervisor at work, it helped that she was new to Humana when she became my supervisor, so she relied a lot on me as far as getting tasks done and knowing what needed to be done. And then that allowed her to focus on some other tasks and eventually expand her role, which she recently, a couple months before me, as part of the same expansion that allowed my promotion, she was also promoted to manager. And then it's also trusting in your team, letting go of the only I can do it, or I can do it better and faster than you. I know that's something that's very difficult for me personally to do, and probably especially within Toastmasters I have those struggles. And I think a lot of what I'm going to have to do now is I've done some of the tasks at work for so long, and I have cross-trained somebody so someone else knows how to do it if something, God forbid, would happen to me, but it's going to feel strange because that's something in my new role that I'm not really, the data crunching is not what I'm really supposed to be doing in my new role, so it's going to be interesting trying to let that go, but I'm looking forward to the growth in these benefit areas for our new larger team. So we've talked about the benefits, let's talk about the steps in organizing a team. First, you must, well-functioning teams do not occur naturally, and then members must be carefully selected and trained. And if you follow these 7 steps, you should organize a good team. First, you select the team members. You need to make sure they're competent, reliable, motivated, enthusiastic, hardworking, intelligent, and collaborators. Obviously, people that strictly focus on themselves end up pigeonholing themselves and really do not benefit themselves as well as other people they're trying to work with. And I've seen this happen at work as well. Number 2, you need to review the goals of the team. You should discuss general goals for the team and how they fit in with the organization's overall goals, and let the team set the specific goals you want to meet that help achieve the overall objective of the organization. Next, you need to establish parameters. So you need to agree on the rules and procedures that will be followed in order to meet that goal. You need to have good communication within the team. Obviously in Toastmasters, I think we struggle with that sometimes even in Toastmasters, an organization focused on communication. And then determine how problems will be solved and who will have the decision-making authority within the group. The 4th step is to develop a plan. You need to have a realistic plan to help team members meet goals. Use the SMART goals that we've discussed a lot in Toastmasters at various TLIs, and follow that method to develop the plan. The 5th step is to assign roles and responsibilities. You need to ensure that all responsibilities are addressed. Team members understand what their role, not only what their roles are. It's usually easier to do that within an organization because we all have role titles. In Toastmasters we do have our officers, but sometimes I think there are certain people that really help out a lot within a club or within a district that don't necessarily have a formal title that goes along about it. And finally, within this step, you need to have everyone understand how their specific role and responsibility relates to the role and responsibilities and goals of the overall organization. The next step is to establish measurements. Measurements help create accountability, which increase productivity and results. You need to agree on how the performance is going to be monitored by the leader, what the performance standards are, and then how feedback is going to be provided back to the individuals on the team. we've started a new process. We had one process in place that worked for our performance reviews, and we were supposed to meet all these, like, one of them was building trust, and especially in finance accounting, one was specifically related to accounting knowledge, but it was never used really. To me, the way they had you rank the criteria, it wasn't like, poor, needs improvement, good. It was like learning, demonstrating, and I mean, sometimes those type of words didn't really measure up very well to necessarily where I felt some people might be on some of these standards, but now we've gone to a more overall goal generating system, and are we fully meeting these goals, or are we not meeting expectations? And I feel that's a lot clearer. And this year it was nice to write those goals down, because we've been going through the performance reviews now, and I feel I met a lot more of my goals in 2015 than I had any other year, thanks to changing the system and having a more, a process that we understood better how to use. And then finally, you need to build team trust. You want truthful members. You want a group where the members and the leaders are seen as equals, not where the leader is lording over the remaining members of the team. You need to have a team where people feel comfortable to speak openly with each other. They're willing to listen to one another and fulfill the responsibilities that were determined in the earlier step. So once you follow these steps to organizing your team, you'll notice that there's a lot more empowerment among not only the leader of the team, but the team members. The success of a leader depends upon the ability to share power with others and let them direct their own work. The leader really needs to focus less on what he or she can accomplish individually as a leader, and more on how they can empower their team members to meet their goals. This will, create a sense of accomplishment and confidence within the group, and I think overall the measure of success will be greater because everyone will see they have accomplished this goal and have known more specifically what they contributed to this goal. And also, I think a leader needs to inspire and empower team members so then they can grow by assuming more responsibility, authority, and autonomy on themselves. So once you've organized the team, you got that sense of empowerment, there still may be items you need to train the team on. There's some teamwork concepts, such as problem solving. We're always trying to, we're not always trying to figure out how to be more efficient in our tasks at work. That seems to be our big problem solving. There's also financial issues, being in the finance area, that we have to problem solve. Holding effective meetings. I think using my one of the reasons I got the promotion, I feel, or I finally convinced our director that I was ready to handle more responsibility, was because my manager has probably within a couple months felt I should be at a higher level than I was. It was convincing that person, and it's a little more difficult when you're in Wisconsin and they're all in Luke. But I was assigned by my manager to lead these calls relating to migrating some of our business off this third-party administrator we had used for a very long time over to our Humana internal systems, and I showed the confidence and poise that I've learned in Toastmasters to conduct those meetings well, and how I handled myself in those meetings seemed to impress our director, and hence the good results going forward. Organizing, I feel, those of us in Toastmasters are usually involved in a lot, so we're generally pretty good at that, but that can be an issue for some individuals. Project management, I think the example I just provided related somewhat to that, and we always have to pick out within the projects that are going on overall within Humana and within our individual product segment. Okay, how does this impact us? Will it impact work or analysis that we have to do ahead of time? Communication, which I think has been touched upon in sort of training some of these other ones. And finally, if you have team members that have problems getting along or don't agree on items, that you work to have conflict resolution in a manner where everyone feels the best solution has been reached. Careful selection of a team does not guarantee that its members will start working well together immediately, hence some training. This does not mean the leader has necessarily failed. It just means the team needs training through these steps, and especially if there are team members that have not trained in teams before, working with some of these skills will help improve the team. Since this is Toastmasters, I'm going to talk a little bit on fostering communication. Communication is important to any team effort. In order to establish a collaborative and trusting team environment, members must feel comfortable openly sharing their ideas. I touched upon that in the steps. Discussing issues and asking questions. I think that was another barrier for me at first. Was I understood everything, but because I would not say anything, if we would have meetings that people weren't sure if I was understanding the things we needed to work on and how I could help to improve tasks or projects at work. Open communication between a leader and his team members results in the following: higher morale. I definitely, especially knowing all the hard work that it took me to get the promotion, and then seeing the goal come to fruition, definitely has improved my morale. In fact, that was talking with my boss when we were doing our year-end review. It was like, yeah, I just, now that I worked really hard and accomplished this, I feel better about myself. So that's definitely a result of it. Pride, again, seeing the results of your hard work and checking off all those goals as complete was definitely something from a work experience. The willingness to take risks. I know this is probably something I would need to work on. I feel I'm very risk averse, and I feel part of that just coming from an objective accounting background, that I don't think that field in general is necessarily high on risk, but I think it's more what data do we have available, what is the risk, what data do we have available to support it, and then make the best decision based on experience or the data in front of us. A willingness to change. I know before I moved on to the team, it's like, that was one time I was willing to change because I could see things were not really, I wasn't on a good team. My leader was more micromanaging and keeping tasks for herself. So that was one time I was open change, but I know that's another time where,